still available. You've got to have that mental focus still available to take it to that upper height, or you simply won't be able to compete in the later stages of the tournament. This is something that the members of Team Basilisk are very familiar with, despite being in this new iteration. And this new iteration, very organized in the agent selection. Already the picks rolling in very quickly for either side. And it doesn't look like too much of a mix-up, save for Team Basilisk opting away from the Killjoy. G-Man picking up the Cypher there.
Oh, not really a whole bunch of differences between the rosters here. The number one thing sticking out to me, though, is going to be the difference between Basilisk having the Phoenix and Reyna belonging on the side of Foxy. Now, I'm going to say it right now. I am not a speechologist or anything, but I'm going to struggle with the word Basilisk a lot. It's like my kryptonite.
That is a difficult one. We're certainly going to have to come up with some sort of tongue twister.
The Bass.
The Bass. I'm going to call them Team Snake should the moment strike me. But for now, we will do our best with Team Basilisk, Team Slytherin, if you will, looking to show some venom in those fangs here on Ascent, which is quickly becoming the home of the Valorant Sunday Showdown. This is where we like to get set up, and this is where semifinals is going to get started.
Oh yeah, Ascent. Every competitive team should know how to play Ascent. I think more than any other map in the game at this point. Just about every single time a team goes up against each other, it's probably the most competitive map in the game right now. Starting things off already, we see a lot of huge presences inside of A side, but not so much on B. That's gonna be a bit of a problem for the two Sentinels on B side though when the round starts.
Foxy already establishing some strong mid control with that drone, and 3 members moving out in the mid corridor. Team Basilisk playing smartly to start off this round, not wanting to challenge any of these angles. They're going to get some information from these sound cues, and you see the dark cover and retaliation coming out from Team Basilisk. Foxy, they've got some obstacles in their way to get this execute started.
The entire team, though, slowly lurching their way, was in tree, but now rotating around a little bit. They could find some success going into A side through A main, but Nanners might have something to say about that. One man against the entire world trying to find a pop shot onto the Cypher. Unfortunately, does get the shot, but can't find the kill. And it's going to lead to the rest of the team trying to intrude on A side entirely. Look at this, though. They explode onto the site. They have full control. Critical looking through the smokes to see if he can find anything, but the answer is going to be no. Having some shock bolts, having full control of the site. It's up to Basilisk now. The Slytherins, like you said, they regain it pretty much through heaven as Doorway's completely under the enemy team's control. Oh, but look at this, though. Numbers are piling away against Foxy. 4 left alive for Bask's side. They're able to make this work, but they have to pile together. They're able to use body shields. 4K from Nanners.
Wow.
Quick hit and doesn't able to make it a 5th though. Dilly, wow, they were just able to take it back.
That was really impressive from Team Basilisk, and something we touched on in the pregame build-up to this match is Team Basilisk, despite being a fairly newer roster, they are showing some serious polish and organization, especially in the pistol rounds. I'll definitely be looking back at the spike.gg after this one to look at that pistol round success rate for Team Basilisk, because they had a game plan and they stuck with it. They played the clock rather, to perfection, putting Foxy in a really difficult position. Team Basilisk getting those early kills, get the round started, and then playing down the clock, putting Foxy right between a rock and a hard place and seizing that opportunity. Team Basilisk only suffering 1 loss, but they start the second round off with yet another, and it's a big one. It's Nanners taken down early on.
It's going to be an important loss, though, for Bask's side. Losing what only could have been ult potential on their side, though. It could have been the Phoenix able to find something, though. A lot of intel as well. But it looks like the rest of Basilisk are just able to make it work. Ooh. They're able to melt away the numbers as they try to go for A again. Able to get some site control. Let's be paranoid, trying to take down the early flank from the Jet. It's not going to quite go the way they had hoped, but they do have to spike into the ground. It's a 2-to-1 ratio now against Foxy's side, but they might be able to make it work if they divide their numbers a little bit more. Maybe not so much divide, but rather go 6 feet under. Paranoid now, the last one alive, tried to hide away, now has to force themselves into the fight. A 2v1, though, is able to make it into a 1v1 on the site itself. The other one coming through the A main doors, but that shadowy figure emerges through and finds the second kill.
Man, I was looking at the health bar of Rico, and I started to really believe in the Foxy clutch. I thought for just a brief moment, this is very, very possible, but Foxy do just fall a little bit short in the end. Regardless, a successful second round, it has to be said, inflicting big damage onto Team Basilisk. A lot of rebuying going on for Team Basilisk. And as we've seen just one match ago, these big buys early on can have big implications later on in the half. We'll see what the difference ends up being here for TB as they move into the later stages of this first half. But for now, Team Basilisk very much in the driver's seat. We'll see if Foxy can take hold of the steering wheel here in this third round.
I gotta ask though, Dilly, do you think they have their seatbelts on?
They have to. That is the law.
I would hope so. Some teams like to go very wild, though. Look at Scrouge, though, especially going a little wild, having the dark cover against him, still using it to their advantage. But there's two, almost three right around the corner on the other side of it. If he pushes through and makes a mistake, he could be caught out. They have no idea he's right there, though. Except one does peek up on the other side. I believe that might be Paranoia. Not entirely sure. No, it's going to be Riku backing off a little bit more. But look at this. They get A control again. Foxy's completely ignored B site for the entirety of the game on the attack, but this just gives plenty of time for Bass to rotate all the way through heaven and have early control if they so fit, waiting for the retake.
Smart play from Foxy thus far to get control of this A site once more. As you said, completely have ignored the B site, and now Team Basilisk with this full 5-on-5 retake situation. They do have the run it back for Nanners. Let's see if they pull the trigger here.
It's gonna be a tough one. Every time we've seen a retake, Bask have been able to get the advantage here. Two hiding inside hell. No clear, distinct push coming out through any of the defense besides on doorway, but they've been able to make it work. They try to go for the body shield method again, but Paranoia getting a double kill out of it. It's going to ensure that doesn't happen. Leaving one left alive now. It's Dude trying to do a 2v1, not even going to come close, not going to find a single bullet.
That is disaster for Foxy. That was absolutely a round they needed to secure to put Team Basilisk in some sort of pressurized situation, but that is the complete opposite of the situation Team Basilisk find themselves in as we move into the fourth round. They've got that Blade Storm ready to go for Riku. Riku definitely feeling the confidence of those early kills. Nanners as well, 5-1-2, had that run it back ready to go last round. That came in clutch for TB, and now Foxy, you can see they are being asked some very difficult questions. Only 3 sheriffs and a few sets of light armor. Crit does pick up that Spectre, so this is somewhat resembling a force buy, but still much more closer to an eco round.
Oh yeah, it's a bit of a broken buy too. If Foxy can't win this round, Dilly, their buy is gonna be all over the place. They won't be even. They can't full buy together. They have to rely on this round to win. And already, if they can't, not only will their eco be broken, they'll be 4 points down. But maybe potentially things are going the way they are. There could be 4 members down too. They're going for A again, but look at where Paranoid is. They have full control of heaven. That is so huge. It's leaving Nanners essentially choked out. The rest of the defense having to push up through exactly where Paranoid was. They have no intel about where this jet could be. Luckily for them, Paranoid already pushed back. Look at this though. Through tree, able to find the jumping knife. Gonna make it work out, but no, not able to find the flick on the second one. The kill feed going to the favorite basket yet again. And that's gonna leave 0 left.
Goodness gracious, Nanners on the triple kill. That's 8-1-2 now for Nanners on the Phoenix. Something we had maybe a slight question mark on it is that Phoenix pickup here on Ascent. We've definitely seen teams very much heavily favor the Reyna in this matchup. Foxy, one of those teams, as you can see, but Nanners looking to put a bit of a change, maybe a bit of a connotation there on the meta and say, it's not quite over. The discussion is still very much in swing. Phoenix has a lot to bring to the table. Nanners 8-1-2, as I said, a spectacular start. And Foxy now, this is a full buy for them, their second full buy of the match, but they do not have another one in the bank. This is yet another round they have got to make stick.
I was wrong. I thought their buys would be all over the place if they lost that round, but no, everyone saved except for Crit. They had a little bit of extra eco, so they were able to buy evenly with everybody else. But like you said, they can't win this round. Like the last 4, it's going to be a really bad spot for them. But look at this again. They love to go for these early entries, and they usually make it work. It's the post plan where they have problems. But even then, though, they lose the opening pick. That's going to be the post plan. It's going to be working even less in their favor. They haven't gone to B yet. So new ride for everybody, but on highway to get mowed over, right? Like roadkill. It's gonna be Scourge and others able to find these kills, bring it to a 2v3. Dilly. They have the site control yet again. Critical, looking around, has the plant almost in their favor, but the Hunter Spear is going to go down instead. Everybody else on the defense really backing up, waiting to play this patiently. They have the numbers advantage, but they don't want to be picked up by the ult.
This is difficult position here for Foxy. Only 2 members remaining, and Team Basilisk are quickly closing in. There's not a lot in terms of utility either available here for the attackers. You can see only 2 shock darts available here for Critical, just desperately spraying, trying to find some damage, some cheeky kill. But here come the fangs from Team Basilisk. They're closing in. Scrounge and Critical though, 2 big kills. Nanners now in the 1v1. Nanners clutches it out. Of course they do. Nanners picks up yet another run it back. Team Basilisk pick up their 5th round of the game.
Not a single piece of utility was used from Nanners that round, and still managed to really destroy the kill feed. 10-1, no less, Dilly.
That is monster stuff here from Nanners. I feel like I'm almost rambling at a point here, and I have to say, Foxy, for the entirety of this half, had avoided B site, and I think the answer to why they had done so lies in G-Man, who we're watching right now. This is a stiff setup here from G-Man on B site. There is a lot to work through. Foxy had to work their way through the cages, through the tripwires, and that extra intel delivered everything Team Basilisk needed to close in on the site and take down Foxy. That delivered the win for them. Now Foxy, with their backs against the wall, turn their eyes over towards B site once more. See if they're a little more successful this time around.
Oh, that is a nasty setup. It doesn't matter though. G-Man's gonna be the first to fall. That means B site's essentially completely opened up, and you have to rely now on the Sentinels, quote unquote, as in just piling bodies from the defense onto the site. They had a great run last round because B site had Foxy with a man disadvantage. This time around, it's not going to be quite the same thing. In fact, the Hunter's Fury on the reverse is going to be coming on through, just like what the Sova tried to do before, but didn't quite work out, just like the other Sova didn't either. Nanners pushing up now, might just go into the crux of the enemy, uses it, no! From the back though, taking advantage of the run it back, and Foxy find themselves the first round.
That was so important for Foxy, as any of their first rounds would have been, but that one especially critical, kicking down the door with that massive flank on Team Basilisk. You could see they were completely asleep to those nefarious plans Critical had been planning. Gets themselves a big old triple kill, and now Foxy with some renewed hope, hopefully some renewed confidence, some new wind in their sails here to start clawing back at this deficit. But as you see, a couple of their members still yet to really get in on this match. We'll see if Foxy can turn the tides now in the 7th round. They do have that Empress available. That could be the key.
I mean, hey, look, if both teams have made it to the semifinals, I think anything's possible. Foxy, sure, they're 4 points down. It's certainly possible with the way they're aggressing onto a site so quickly like we see Paranoia do. They can definitely bring it back. Just need to adapt a little bit more. Speaking of the adaptation, we're seeing a slow rotate coming up from Basilisk yet again. They've been able to make this work. There's no reason to go for a fast one, though, but the plant's already in the ground, and the majority of the ground has been covered by Foxy. But you have the Cypher on the other side. Double Cyber Cage goes down. Can G-Man find that opening pick? It's just an absolute maze of Cyber Cages to distract the enemy. Doesn't matter, though. Everything else is happening on the site. Crit's able to find the opening pick. It's going to be another one gone. Duelist versus Duelist. The king of Basilisk completely gone. This might be Foxy's round yet again. Ooh, only one left alive. Now Riku falls in heaven.
Once again, the key for Foxy is critical, picking up a very important multi-kill, getting themselves onto 10 kills, matching the stats of Nanners at the top there. Really impressive stuff from Foxy, holding on with by the narrowest of margins on that A site, and really it caught Team Basilisk, I think, completely off their guard. They had sent G-Man to pretty much single-handedly hold down that A site. They had really stacked B site. After that successful B site push from Foxy, Team Basilisk were ready for much of the same, but they guessed wrong. They weren't able to make the retake stick as they've done so many times already in this match, and Foxy, as we said before, clawing away at that deficit, getting themselves some more ground forward, and it's showing Team Basilisk back down to the eco round here in this 8th.
Oh man, but they're gonna go for B again. There's no spike there. It's in mid pretty much on catwalk. This could be a bit of a fake expedition going through on B main, trying to divert the enemy Basilisk over to the site. When are they going to fall for it? The answer is somewhat yes. The main person we want to look at right now is going to be Riku hiding around the little covert area, the cubby, if you will, on A, and they're the only ones sticking around. They know how crafty Foxy can be. The Basilisk, they've been kings about taking back these sites. You have to wait and see now what happens next. Immediately goes in, eco round, Bucky in hand, no longer though. It's gonna be the rest of the team though, fighting for their lives, having to hide through the shadows and wait for Foxy to approach them. They're gonna find some luck though. Maybe not so much luck, maybe that's the wrong word. They're able to find some shots, but it's not enough to confirm a kill. Spike's gonna go in the ground. Basilisk still a member down. They have 2 ults to work with. Well, they still have 2 to work with, but another member gone. The duelists are now dead. All that's left is a sentinel and the intel utility. They can make it work. It's gonna be one heck of a victory.
Absolutely, this is big for Foxy here. Even though Team Basilisk is very much crutched here in this round, Crit puts down G-Man. Some much needed momentum here for Crit. And look at Foxy now, so well armed, so well equipped. Those 3 ultimates. Bergie though, looking to flip the script. Picks up a quick double kill. Crit though responds with a triple. Team Basilisk showing how dangerous they can be even in defeat there. And now Foxy, this is really impressive. After that 5-round slide they experienced, they've stuck to their guns, they stuck to their game plan, they found a way in on Team Basilisk. These B to A switches now, really Team Basilisk has been none the wiser on Foxy's map movement. Crit really taking advantage. You can see finally getting on the board, getting those first few opening kills, and those can be pivotal for a player's confidence and performance. Now Foxy with a full buy, but much as Team Basilisk were in this position earlier on, Foxy do not have another in the bank. They have got to get this round. They do have the Hunter's Fury. There it goes. Will it find someone? Yes, it finds Bergie. Bergie has to dodge on away, will not be able to. Critical. Snipes down Bergie, an important opening kill for Foxy.
This is the one I'm afraid of right now. We're spectating G-Man, has the Odin in hand, could penetrate just about everything around them. But no signs yet. The Spike's going to be going to the ground on default position. He might be able to find one. He gets tagged a little bit from hell. The demons themselves trying to strike up against the angels, but no! He's unable to find the shots. In fact, from behind, Riku pulls a G-Man from reverse and is able to find yet another one. That being said and done, they have tree control, but everyone on the site is going to be an attacker. They're holding down the fort as much as they can, but they're losing land quickly. The kill feed in the favor of Basilisk yet again. This could be the redemption. It's a 1v1. Paranoid now, holding the far back site, has the sloth with their good luck, and the good luck goes through with the sloth yet again.
Oh man, now these teams really starting to feel the burn in the semifinals. Foxy building a big streak of their own, and as we said before, that early momentum that they gained, getting that first round on the board, the subsequent rounds after, that is having such a big effect on what challenges they're willing to take, how they're moving around the map, and it is starting to show really in how they're racking up these rounds. Team Basilisk, they are right back down to an eco round once more. They've got 4 ultimates, but really only see the Blade Storm being popped here. There it goes. See if Team Basilisk can make a little bit of magic happen here with Riku and Nanners in tow. Very dangerous players, but Foxy, a very dangerous team on attack.
Look how many ults are already used on Bask's side. They have the Jet Knives out, the Blade Storm. I mean, hidden back a little bit here, but look how slow Foxy's opting to play. They've tested their luck a lot, and they're able to make it work. Riku decides to push up and gets punished for it heavily. Now everybody else has to think for a second whether or not they want to do so. In fact, the whole expedition, the entire caravan of Foxy now transverses its way back to A, its normal spot. But Nanners, only a sheriff in hand, has to take care of the entire team. But eliminates not 1, but 2 inside of A. They make that 3, almost 4. Quick Draw McGraw finds the last bullet in the revolver, but that's only going to leave one left alive. It's the Reyna. Crit now needs to make this work in a 1v3. Hunter's Fury goes down, but it's going to be expeditionary. He's not able to find it, but comes very close. Crit's still going to make his way forward. He knows exactly where that Sova should be. He's able to find the kill, but there's 2 more to worry about. He's going to make their way to B.
This is so crazy here from Team Basilisk. I can't believe they're just 1 kill.
Can he make it, Dilly?
1 kill away here, 25 seconds remaining now, sneaking away on over to B site. The camera will spot Crit out, the door closes, and now 2v1. Crit has the Empress available. See if they pull the trigger as the spike goes down.
Oh, Dilly, real quick, do you think he can do it?
Absolutely, I do believe.
I can too.
Crit now sends out the Leer, but the defender's already out on the site. Down. Crit's giving away the real estate, now has to fight right back for it. finding the spray, but no, G-Man clutches it out. Goodness gracious, Team Basilisk with the narrowest of odds, the slimmest of margins. They make the Sheriffs work. Even without the Blade Storm of Riku, they still found the thrifty win. They still re-extend their lead here. All signs pointed to Foxy tying us up 6 rounds apiece, getting us into that even territory, but now, or excuse me, 5 rounds apiece rather, but now Team Basilisk, 2 ultimates in the pocket still after that successful round, get themselves right back into a prime position thanks to the clutch there of Nanners holding down the A-long corridor, finding that triple kill with the Sheriff. Absolutely unprecedented plays. Now Foxy really need to recollect themselves.
I'm wondering, had Crit gone around the entire Bowhouse area if he had been able to get that round? But look at Paranoid now. Having the double smokes go down, being an absolute shield, finds the run it seems, but what about everybody else? Not so lucky, or maybe extra lucky for that Omen. Everyone makes the mad dash to B, tries to go for the distraction yet again. But look at this here. I'm mostly curious about Nanners. He is stuck in the middle of a gooey Oreo's worth of destruction going all throughout. Critical's able to find the opening pick. That's going to be strong. Now it's a reverse dash all the way to A site. Everyone on Foxy's trying to play 400 IQ chess. But Dilly, look at this. Nanners goes for the mad spray. He's able to find one, but he has no idea there's another one right outside tree. In fact, he's surrounded. Little to no idea. Finds the spy character before making the ultimate sacrifice, but now it's a 2v3. Basilisk have rarely found themselves in this position and lived much longer. Now in the post plant. It's gonna get risky now. G-Man has to face up against an entire torrent, no less an ocean of people. Wait, there's only gonna be one left now. He's able to find one, but no, his friend's gonna fall. Will now, the last one alive, has to find 2, but one from the skies reaches down and finds him.
And that's the round Foxy would have wanted to get 1 round ago, but still get it for themselves and now are within 1 round of Team Basilisk. We very well could find ourselves at a 6-6 scoreline as we start the second half, and that is massively impressive for the side of Foxy, not wavering through the onslaught of Team Basilisk. They stumbled, but they picked themselves back up, now taking the last 5 of the last 6 rounds rather, and look at Nanners on top of the scoreline. You have to imagine if Nanners gets put down at the beginning of the round, there's certainly a good chance for Foxy to take it, but if Nanners is allowed to put that work in, the odds do not favor Foxy whatsoever.
I do feel like Foxy is playing off where they think Nanners is going to be. He was 10-1 at one point, right? And now he's 15-7. Whatever they're doing to find and pretty much triangulate where Nanners is going to be and take him down first, it pretty much secures the round for them. With that being said, though, they find him again. How much do you want to bet they're going to go in and try to find him? I kind of guarantee it. He's going to be playing inside doors yet again. But no. In fact, they're playing around him. They're going to try to make themselves not be viable, not visible, and bait the entirety of Basque onto A site. That's going to leave G-Man by himself.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to challenge Nanners right around that corner either. I certainly have to respect that call. Bood has that Cypher ultimate ready to go for the extra intel. They just need a body. Foxy look like they're going to pull the trigger here onto B site and try to find it. 2 Sentinels right around the corner waiting to greet them. Here comes the execute, the Cloudburst, and the updraft coming out from Foxy here, now pushing out in sight. Scrounge gets the first kill. Wilski gets the trade though. Wilski picks up the double.
30 seconds left. Wilski trying to hold it down as long as he can. Pulls a K2SO. Takes down some bodies before falling themselves. Only a few seconds left. Hunter's Fury comes down. A last-ditch gesture to get rid of as many defenders as they can. But Nanners through it all is able to pick off and snipe another one. It's going to be a 3v1 now. That Omen, unfortunately, not long to live after the ultimate. That's going to be a bit of a waste too. But luckily, though, we're going to be going to a new side.
Yeah, Foxy need now a bit of a reset. They did really well to keep themselves in this game, especially after the start Team Basilisk had. It's impressive they only finished this half with 7 rounds. So Foxy now to pick themselves back up once more, get themselves set in, dug in on the defender's side. And if they stick to their game plan here, definitely Team Basilisk will struggle. But on the side of Team Basilisk, we're looking at Nanners. If Nanners can get those entry kills, if Wilski and G-Man can feed Nanners that information, Foxy are going to have a tough time on their hands. Nanners certainly looking to thrive here on the attacking side.
I mean, I feel like we have to talk about Critical and Paranoid too, right? They're the only players on the defense now in the double digits, and Critical, he's been known to be crazy. And on a Sova, no less, being able to find not only all this intel, but also show up on the leaderboard from it too, absolutely fantastic. He's almost essentially solo holding on B. There's going to be the Cypher on the other side too to help out a little bit more. But otherwise, look at where Bask is. They're kind of all over the place. They're playing defaults, looking for the opening pick and moving from there, but no one on Foxy showing up.
Team Basilisk just taking this spread offense approach here, trying to feel out the map. Definitely touched on the aggression Team Basilisk can play with, but definitely not surprised to see them kind of feeling out the map, trying to gather that intel, not wanting to pull the trigger. But now as the clock ticks down under a minute, there's some decisions that are going to have to be made.
And look at this interesting decision here from Bask, right? We've seen a huge mid presence from the attackers, and that's not something we saw when Foxy was on the attack themselves. There's going to be a little bit of coagulation. Was at one point near CT spawn, but no, they've moved back to A side, not expecting to be mid. Suddenly a crash, a barrage comes through onto the site. So we have the Critical and Bood holding down as much as they can, but look at this, they're all entering so quickly that these defenders are able to hold the grounds a little bit more. Or so we said. Critical's going to fall. That's going to leave one left alive. More area going to the control of Basilisk's side, but with it being a 4v4 still in the spike, no longer still in the ground, they're going to have to push up and get that plant down immediately to have the time advantage. Of course, they're able to make it work so well that the bodies melt away. One left alive. It's going to be Paranoid in a 1v3, fighting against the clock themselves now in a few seconds. It's going to be a tough one, Dilly. It seems all but done and dusted for a pistol round, but no, even through the smoke, Riku still finds a 3K.
Absolutely. We talked about Nanners on the attacking side, but Riku showing up really big for Team Basilisk, picking up the triple kill there. And Foxy a bit sluggish on the rotate there, just didn't really form a full-on assault to what Team Basilisk had set up on B site. They had Critical and Bood holding it down. They did well to get a couple of kills, but in the end, Foxy couldn't hold on and couldn't get that rotate in place fast enough. Now we see Team Basilisk with the opportunity to get themselves a 4-round lead once more, and a big buy coming out for them. Spectres as well as a Guardian for the attackers here. And once again, it's that spread offense approach, not wanting to put their noses into any trouble.
Critical has a shorty, but no one's going to be approaching him. He's going to possibly move out with it. But the spike's still down in the ground yet again, Dilly. I think they're going to be leaning towards A, but when we said that before and they played defaults on pistols, they went for mid. So they went for a very unorthodox approach. And I'm wondering now, with that unorthodox approach, the catwalk's the way to go. And I think Foxy may have read into that a little bit more. Paranoid already down to 17 HP. Tries to take a fight against Nanners, but it doesn't work. In fact, no, the opening pick's going to go in the way of mid. That's going to be great, though. It turns into an absolute battlefield Bood with a double kill with the classic yet again. Even when they're bonused up on the other side, still going to have the bodies go into their favor. Or only for now, though. It's going to be a 1v2. Spike still in the hands of the Omen, making a mad dash for B site. The Reyna coming in for the flank nearly from behind, but instead opts for mid. They have only one place to push. Luckily for Basilisk, though, they have no idea. It's going to be 3 different avenues that this Reyna could potentially push. No utility to really stall out intel of where Crit wants to go next. But Dilly, you said it yourself, it's going to be a Guardian in hand for this Reyna. It's not the most optimal weapon, but it might be good compared to what they have before. Here's the thing, though. The hidden little trinket that we've been seeing Nanners have. It's going to be the running back. Running back, though, not going to spot it. Gets sniped down instead. Hiding away as well. It's not going to be open casket, but no, the flash comes through. Almost a pop flash as well. Got to see whether or not Foxy can make it. But Dilly, I think this might be over here. But no, they find the snipe instead. Crit might be able to bring this back. Holding down the fort, pushing up, entrenching upon the enemy, looking through the blood. He's able to find out 3K. He's going to keep Foxy in the game.
That is big.
Oh, wait.
Crit? Oh, goodness. I took a deep breath there. I wasn't sure that was going to come through. 0.9 of a second remaining there for Crit. And what a play it was. Picking up Riku's Guardian and using it to full power. Taking down Wilski, taking down Nanners in the back of sight. Was so just really dancing on the razor's edge for Team Basilisk there. Nanners burning that run it back maybe a little too early. Didn't have much left in the way of utility. Team Basilisk concede a round. They certainly did not plan on doing so. That's knocked them right back down to basics. Only pistols ready to go for Team Basilisk. We've seen some thrifties, we've seen some miracles just in this match alone, but I'd be lying if I said the odds look good for TV here in this 15th.
I'm wondering what you think, though, Dilly, about the way Basilisk likes to push, right? They're not telegraphing what they want to do. They're playing those defaults every single round. And with Riku finding that opening pick on the one that's supposed to create all the diversions, all the line of sight denials for Foxy's team, this could be a really, really rough A or B depending on where they want to go. They almost have free range.
Absolutely. Team Basilisk now with map control, moving themselves around the map despite that equipment disadvantage. Crit, though, on A site, on Heaven, ready to greet them. This will be big.
Oh, the snipe comes out yet again. Crit's been so good about that, but of course all good things come to an end. But it looks like for Foxy that may not be the case. Even if it's Nico rounds a 2v2, that Omen heavily damaged. Could be waiting on the outskirts of A. Look at this, even safe to go. But no, there's no entry here. A mad dash. 30 seconds left. Have to go across the entire world to B, and they're making no qualms about it, but they do stop at catwalks and the audio cues are ceasing to exist. Instead, they're baiting out B. It seems obvious like that's going to be the choice for the Omen to go, but instead he's going to be waiting around on A, making their way through catwalk. Foxy, though, they're no dummies. They played directly into it. With 13 seconds left, time is running out for this Omen. Boot checking the wrong corners, able to get the flick instead. Beautiful.
Lucky for Bood, there was a slim amount of HP remaining there and able to get it out. Bergie unable to find the clutch, but you can't really hold that too much against Bergie. Didn't have too much to their name, did Team Basilisk, and they did very well in that round regardless. But Foxy now once again clawing away at the deficit that TB builds up for themselves, but Foxy now in a very prime position with these ultimates available. Definitely expect Paranoid to be sitting on that Blade Storm for a minute. Would be unwise to rush that out, especially with the operator in the pocket, but the Empress on crit cannot be ignored. Foxy could very well flip the script on any situation with just that ability. On the other side of things, it's Riku once again with that Blade Storm, full set of shields as well. That will be the primary weapon of use for Riku, looking to get some entry frags here for TB, but if they can't get that initial kill, Foxy will just fall back into the shadows. They'll play their game, they'll draw out the time, so TB really need to start ramping up the pressure.
Yeah, and that pressure, I feel like, is starting to come out on both sides a little bit more. This matchup is really reminding me of Zoomer Academy versus Lunchbox earlier tonight. And it's like, just when you think you know as a viewer when the game's going to end, who's going to take it home, the other team just suddenly surprises you. The first half, look at the scoreline. It seemed like it was going to be a runaway success for Basilisk, and then suddenly Foxy came on a huge streak and pretty much, besides two defuses, almost never stopped. Now, semifinals on the second half now are going Foxy's way yet again, predominantly.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's a great comparison, this match to the previous match of Lunch Club versus Zoomer Academy, specifically because one thing we saw in that quarterfinals matchup on this very same map with a lot of these very same agent picks was the Jet and Reyna not playing maybe as big of a role as we had expected them to, being a bit subdued by these defensive setups.
Has every game that's been streamed today been on Ascent? I think, yeah.
It very well may have been.
I think it is.
I was trying to remember if I had seen any other maps, was that and did not think I had seen any other maps. But as I said before too, just kind of come to expect it at this point.
Honestly, I don't mind that as much, right? Like, when we started casting back in the beta, it was always Haven.
Right.
Then for a little bit, it was always Bind.
Yeah.
There was a very small amount of time where it was seemingly always split. But that was like May of last year.
That was like
now,
3 days.
It's almost always Ascent, and look how good it can be when people know how to play Ascent. Riku finds the opening pick. I almost have full control. You just gotta worry about Paranoid. And once Paranoid goes down, you pretty much have B, except Crit's on the other side playing Skeleton Crew, and they're making it work. It's going to leave a 3v3 for both sides now. Control again in the favor of the attackers, but that hasn't really been too much once the spike goes down for both of these teams. Taking their time with that spike, waiting to push out at least one more to have the advantage before it goes into the ground, but it looks like now Bergie might try to either bait it, and he is, or just waiting for someone to push up highway. But Foxy, they don't want to budge. They don't want to give in just yet. They're waiting, biding their time, trying to see what they can do next. It's not going to be easy, though. It looks like this is going to be the real deal now, coming out from Bergie. 2 inside the undercover shadows. The Lear trying to distract, but no, it goes into the favor of Basilisk. There's still one more alive. Crit made their way through. They went into the force field, but now they have to survive the actual soldiers of the war. Right on the spike. 1 inside, could be able to sneak their way through. Phoenix not looking the right way. Now the Jet knows that they can peek just at the right time, and no, just millimeters off.
That was exactly what we were asking of Team Basilisk, to ramp up the aggression, ramp up the pace, and that's exactly what they did. Riku getting that action started with the updraft onto B site, sending out the Blade Storm to great effect, finding that opening kill. And after that, Foxy, their circuits were scrambled. They were not ready for such a quick take. Team Basilisk really just hit them with that sucker punch through mid, and it did wonders for them. They stopped that 2-round slide that Foxy had started to accumulate. Basilisk again re-extending their lead, but the margins aren't nearly as comfortable as they've been before. Team Basilisk cannot sit back, they cannot rest on their laurels, and they are continuing to push forward. They are continuing to rack up the kills.
Look, Dilly, until I see a 13-1 scoreline, I think both these teams are completely in it still. What is Paranoid doing? This is audacious. No, it's not gonna work. It almost did, though. And this is just a really murky gunfight happening inside of Double Doors. It's gonna go very handedly in the favor of Basilisk, but it was also an eco round for Foxy.
Yeah, don't ask me to analyze that one. That was just a bloodbath. No, that was violent, especially what I like to see, though it didn't pay off, what I like to see from Paranoid was that dash into mid-corridor. You've got the classic, you've got nothing to lose. Might as well get up right in the face of G-Man, see if you can't find a cheeky right click. That time, not paying off, but that is exactly what you want to see from effectively the defenders. We talked about Zoomer Academy before, and one thing I want to touch on again is Zoomer Academy playing that aggressive defending style to great effect. We saw it work out for them. Now we'll see if it can work out for Foxy.
I'm curious to know how effective this early slowness coming up from Basilisk is. I haven't seen them go very aggressive at the beginning of a round just yet. They've been mostly playing slow, those kind of defaults. But once they ramp things up, it's been working really beneficial to them. If they start the round off with the gas and gears, and Dilly, I'm curious to know what you think.
Well, they've got to play careful. They've got so much invested into this round in terms of guns and the ultimates on the board. They don't want to just throw away those opportunities that present themselves. So they've got to tiptoe around this map. They're rather stacked on the B side. Here comes Nanners with the run it back. It's already been used to great effect. Let's see if they can find the kill. Hunting. Nanners picks up the kill. Wilski takes down Boot. Team Basilisk in a 5v3. Make it a 5v2. Make it a 5v1.
This could be flawless coming out now. Paranoid, I think, already opting for the save, is way far out from anybody else. It's okay if they get a flawless win, as long as they save. Actually, would it be flawless? No, it wouldn't be if Foxy, if Paranoid stays alive.
Yeah, I think you got to get the kill.
You're right. You're right. I have to brush up on my Valorantology. But everybody on Basilisk, well, of course, they're just gonna be waiting around. I think though they're gonna start looking for a hunting party to find this final Jet. In a 1v4, 3 potential ults to work with, there's really not a lot a Foxy can do here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is very much survival here from Paranoid. Maybe find a bit of a revenge kill on the way out, but yeah, nothing in it for Foxy here. Team Basilisk surely moving on to 11 rounds, getting themselves 2 rounds away from a first ever VSS Grand Finals appearance, and what an appearance it would be for Team Basilisk. This roster has shown that despite, you know, maybe not having as much time to prepare as other rosters, they still have a level of polish that is difficult to contend with and really, really impressive to see, and it just shows these players are well experienced. As this scene continues to develop, as this meta continues to develop, you can bring these strong players in, and they know what to do. They know how to get right down to business. Nanners getting down to business, 26-11-4. About as profitable as a Phoenix you can get. Now Team Basilisk with 3 big ultimates on the board, 2 rounds away from a grand finals appearance. It is all coming up snakes.
Look at the rotation, though, coming out from Foxy's side. They originally had the Cypher play on B predominantly, and it was kind of effective, but they decided to put everything now on A, and we have seen Basilisk like to go for Catwalk. It makes sense, but now having everybody else bodies just stacked up on B, I think this is a really smart move to make. Nanners, though, is kind of toying with the enemy a little bit, whether he knows it or not. Reyna, right on the other side, the dark covers could bounce out at any moment, but no, that they opt not to. Everyone rotates back a little bit more, reeling in the fishing line. But they're going to go for A, playing directly into the hands of this Cypher. Slowly but surely waiting on by. Curious to see if any tripwires or any utility does get used. He's waiting. He has the camera now. Looking for anyone that pounces on by through A main, having it directly through trees. It's not going to be easily visible, but the dark covers go under anyways. They now know. And Bood already with like a machine gun, ready and tapped to fire. Gets the trigger down and is able to find the opening pick. But still, Dilly, with those ults on the board, they have to worry about make that only 2 out of 3 now, though, but they have to push up and make a move any minute now.
Oh, Critical gets the action started, snipes down Bergie. That is disaster for Team Basilisk. They may have taken their foot off the gas far too soon, and Foxy ready to take it right back here. 5v2 now. Can they get themselves back on a site? The answer is a resounding yes. Bood picking up the double kill, picking up a Vandal for themselves, and Foxy staying in the fight.
I guess it'd be bad to say that was a critical kill, huh?
Depends on who you ask. Depends on who you ask. Comedy is all subjective.
I think I got fired.
That is, in fact,
no
what that
puns
means.
allowed.
That was very clearly
How many
stated.
times do we have to tell you, Kay? No more puns.
As you can hear our live feed from our producer, losing their mind over the usage of puns on this broadcast. Puns in the Valorant Sunday Showdown, I've never heard of it. But Team Basilisk, they may be wishing they had never heard of Foxy here, because Team Basilisk, I think we're very certain they were moving on the match point. They have been denied that right for now. Can they take it back? Can they claim what they feel is rightfully theirs? Paranoid trying to steal that away from them. This is a fairly aggressive peak from what we've compared to what we've seen from Foxy thus far, and they need to start taking chances, but these chances not paying off. Wilski takes the head off of Paranoid. Team Basilisk now in a 5v4.
That was so beautiful from Wilb. That was contesting an op 2, and they find what I'm assuming would be pretty much a pixel peek against the head. That Hunter's Fury going to come down now in retaliation. Not going to find a lot, but at least they cleared out mid for the most part. They know nobody's going to be there. The issue now, though, is that the rest of Bass will be pushing through trees, and even though Buse made it work last round, he's getting overrun very quickly. He's able to hold down the fort a little bit more, using the dark cover to his advantage to push up just a tiny, tiny bit, but everyone being detected or being shot at, and the rest of Foxy now need to play off of heaven. Partially blind. As soon as they peek, they find the wrong end of a barrel, but even then, Scrouch wants to push up and try to be a hero, but no, that doesn't quite work. Instead, the Basilisk were staved off of that match point a little bit dilly, but now having a 3v1, this seems like it's the end as he jumps down in a leap of faith. Critical, unfortunately, can't find that final kill.
Yeah, I may have talked a big game here, but I have to say, in my heart of hearts, I knew Team Basilisk wouldn't trip up 2 times in a row in that same way, and they proved exactly that, especially Nanners. It seems, just kind of judging from the in-game body language, if you will, to kind of psychoanalyze these duelists, Nanners seems to be playing very confidently, but also in kind of a let's get this over with kind of way, storming into that A site, kicking down the door, and just taking over. Team Basilisk are more than ready to punch their ticket to grand finals, and Foxy now down to their last chance to try and stop them. But this is a good chance, albeit they've got 4 ultimates. Can they put them to work here? Team Basilisk already taking heavy damage.
And look how quick Basilisk just wants to take over A. They're going a lot faster than they have predominantly this entire half. They have control for the most part, but the ops are swinging on both sides. Both Jets were alive, but Paranoid's able to find, Rico's able to find Paranoid, but no, you'd see a 4v4. Still heavily damaged. Those knives could come out now. A 4-point advantage in the favor of Basilisk. They have room to play around with here, but economy, maybe not so much if they lose this round. It's going to be the Empress already out on Foxy's side. Crit looking for that kill. It's going to miss on both sides. but that only gives more time for Basilisk to bring that spike all the way to B. Two bodies waiting on CT side, not smoked out just yet. 43 seconds left on the clock. They have to make the move now. The double flash goes out. Cyber Cage, including a dark cover, all going to aid as much as they can for the attacking side. The bullets certainly help as well, and they fall everywhere. The 3v2 now, getting that spike into the ground to be priority number one. But the heal comes other way. Able to hide themselves a little bit more. No one can directly go onto the spike as that molly's in the ground, but the spike is underway. It's going to 2v3. Making no qualms about it. Boo just pushing on forwards, and so is Crit. They want to make a one final last-ditch effort. Can they make it work? No, it's still a 2v3. Make that a 1v3. Make that 0. Team Basilisk are going to be in the grand finals.
GG Team Basilisk. That was massively impressive. From the get-go, they were making a statement on Ascent. They said, this is our week. We are here to stake our claim onto it, especially Nanners. Very clearly the match MVP there, no question about it. We're not even entertaining a discussion on MVP after that one. It was simply Nanners clocking in and getting down to business, picking up all the necessary kills. And when Team Basilisk started to stumble, it was Nanners there to pick up the pieces, kick down the door, really put the pressure on Foxy. Despite all the praise I'm lumping onto Team Basilisk, I do have to say as well, very well done to Foxy. We've been saying, this is a puggier team made of, more freer players, maybe so than a set roster, and they showed up today. But there it is, your MVP, Nanners, 30, 12, and 4. Goodness gracious. Someone calculate that KD ratio for me. That is a combat score of 375, nearly 400 for Nanners on the Phoenix on Ascent. They said it couldn't be done. They said you can't pick Phoenix on Ascent. Well, Nanners says otherwise.
I mean, I like Phoenix on Ascent, but he just brought it to a whole new level. Keep in mind, too, Nanners didn't really use a whole lot of utility throughout the majority of that match. Sure, there was the occasional pop flash, there was mollies on the ground occasionally, but none of it really changed the impact of a round. It was mostly just Nanners doing Nanners things, and you got to respect it for it, absolutely. But Dilly, I have a lot of respect for both of these teams. I thought they brought us a great matchup. Basilisk, for the most part, did have the dominance over Foxy for the majority of the game. But the thing is, though, is that you got to give it to Foxy in those huge grand streaks of rounds. They were able to find not once, but twice, and once on each half. But Basilisk, I think with the macro adaptations, they were able to bring out each and every time they identified those streaks that happening. They shut it down right then and there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right to give props over to Foxy as well. They did not lay down at any point throughout this match. Team Basilisk were throwing absolutely everything they could at the side of Foxy, and Foxy just weathered the storm, kept on pressing. I mean, Foxy dropped 5 rounds to start off the game and stormed right back. They were not phased by that slide. That is a point in the game where a lot of teams, especially my ranked teams, that is a point where a lot of teams would lay down and say, this is a bit too much for us to handle. But Foxy persevered. They kept it close. They kept it competitive. And I definitely hope to see them back in VSS number 47 next week. But before all of that, we are going to be back for grand finals here just in a few minutes to see who Team Basilisk will be taking on the other side of the roster. Stick around. You definitely don't want to miss it.